Jeez, how much more anime-like can my hair get? Gonna be like I'm from Dragon Ball Z. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another episode. So I think you might notice that this bottle is already open. So problem is that I ended up reviewing this, and when I went to go start editing, there was a terrible audio buzz coming from this microphone, and it ruined basically the whole review and footage. No matter what I did, no noise canceling, no hum removal, nothing like that worked. So I just decided to refilm this. Sadly, it's not going to be a blind review like the original review was, but I'm going to basically say roughly about the same thing. So this is Meiyo from the Bushido series from the Commencin Distillery. Now this particular bottle is pretty special, and I'm actually very excited to get into it. So I found this over at Costco as usual, and how I came across it is that I walked into the whiskey selection and I saw this guy for $160, which was outrageous. I thought that was super expensive, but I did some research and I saw that online they resell for $300. So I thought maybe it might be really good. So if it's going to be about almost 50% off, might as well give it a shot. So I went back the next day and I, was really excited to pick this up. And when I get there, there's a guy who had every single box in his cart. And I was like, oh no. And I thought, I missed my chance for getting this. And when I went up, I saw that there was one box left on the shelf and it was way in the back. And I try to reach for it, and he sees that I'm trying to reach for it, and he ends up just picking up one of the boxes out of his cart, and he's like, why don't you just take this one? Because I have all these other ones. And I was like, hey, awesome. I mean, I was just super excited that I ended up getting a bottle at all versus I missed out on it. So super excited about this. Let's get into it. So this is going to be a 17-year-old bottle here. It was distilled in 2001 and bottled in 2018. It is 42% alcohol by volume, and it was aged in ex-bourbon barrel cask. So that's really interesting to me, mainly because I think in this we're going to be getting a lot of bourbon flavors as well as a lot of Japanese flavors as well. The distillery that makes this, Commencin, they make amawari, which is a Japanese shochu. So this is technically a single grain whiskey, but I know that there's some people out there that may not actually consider this as whiskey and just call it shochu. But I'd probably still put it in the realm of whiskey because it's not sake, because sake is more brewing methods, very similar to, let's say, beer. But when shochu with indica rice, it is distilled rather than brewed. So with that, I think this puts it on the level of whiskey. But anyway, let's go ahead and hop into this and try this out. All right, so it's a very nice golden honey color here. The smell is very heavy with rice, more of like a umami flavor. Getting a little bit of cinnamon, some molasses, but I am picking up a lot of the bourbon flavors. I mean, if it's gonna be in ex-bourbon barrels for 17 years, I'd be really surprised if I didn't pick up any kind of bourbon flavors. You know, the traditional bourbon flavors that are gonna be vanilla, cherry, oak. That's a good part of it. But yeah, there's a little bit of a cinnamon part in the back end, or the most prominent note that I get from this is that rice. Very sweet as well. So I think let's go ahead and hop into this. Very nice and warm. Not sharp on the tongue at all. I know a lot of people in the whiskey community don't like to use the term smooth, but this is smooth. And it goes down, it's nice and warm. There's a lot of sweetness to this. And that rice flavor, if you've ever tried sake before, it's gonna be somewhat similar to it, but the rice comes in the very beginning, and then followed by that is gonna be the bourbon flavors, the vanilla, the cherry, the oak, a little bit of like a toasted oak. It doesn't taste burnt, but just a light little toast. I don't know why, I'm getting a little bit of coconut in that one, that time. The finish is gonna be medium to long. It definitely stays with you for a while, and I kinda like that because that's kind of shows a little bit more of the oil that's gonna be inside of this. It's normally like whiskeys that are a bit oily, they tend to last a little bit longer in the mouth, and the finish is gonna either be medium to long, and I like that, you know? That way you can truly have this be a nice long sipper. When you have a medium to long finish, I can literally have a sip of this and like just dwell on the flavors for a long period of time, and what normally a dram takes me 30-45 minutes to fully drink versus something else like I'd say Jack Daniels, the flavor didn't last very long at all, but of course we're comparing two way different things in that situation. But just as an example, with something like that, you'd have to constantly be going back to it in order to get the flavor of the drink again. That is very nice. If you guys are able to find this for $160 and it is within your budget to purchase just a damn fine whiskey, I'd say definitely pick this up. I don't think you'll be disappointed with it. Unless, of course, you're not a fan of the rice flavor. Then I'd say maybe go with something else. But otherwise, I'm really enjoying this, and I borderline love it. It's great. Let me know down in the comments, what is your average budget for a whiskey? Do you stay kind of in the $40 to $50 range, or do you go $80, $90 or above $100? Let me know down below. I really want to see where you guys are in that. Oh, and one other thing, in my review that I did that had all the horrible buzzing in it, I tried it with a drop of water into this, and I found that it just made everything more dull. More dull in the sense that it mellowed everything out, and it just not as much flavor at that point. So normally when you add a drop of water into it, it kind of opens it up a little bit more, kind of gives you a little bit more, but it really kind of just kept all the flavors the same, but just really dulled out. So I would say if you do end up trying this, try this out neat, and if you really do need to go to water, add that in, but I don't think it really needs it because it's already smooth as it is. That's overall the gist of what I had in my original review. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'm gonna be posting a little playlist of all my other videos up in the top right corner, left corner, whatever it is. Please be sure to check that out. Would really appreciate you guys, and I will be here next week. And I'll see you guys all later, all right? Have a good night. Whew. That is damn fine whiskey.